Let's talk about what is a fighting style. My definition. So a fighting style is a collection of techniques and tactics what that style uses in order to win in a fight. In my opinion, it doesn't include the training which precedes the fight actually, or the training methodology in there. So it's not that, it's what you execute during a fight. So it's a collection, it's a subset of everything available. So I'll give you a few examples. If we start with the sword strikes, it also includes the use of the weapon, by the way. So what weapons are used in that style? So is it all like a single sword, sword and shield, or maybe just a dagger, or what? So it's a style, it does include the weapons. So it's not just techniques and tactics, it's also the weapons you are planning to use. Okay, but let's say we have the sword here. So we can select from what kind of a strike we are using. So are we cutting? Are we cutting? Are we thrusting? You know, what kind of cut? So it's pull, push, tip. Those have to be figured out. Maybe you are just using this blunt impact cutting if you're doing reenactment, because it doesn't matter, you aren't really cutting anything. So maybe it's this one we pick up. Then we have to decide on like the strike angles. Are we using this 45 downward, or maybe are we using upward? Are we using any upward strikes? Are we using horizontal strikes? Or maybe vertical strikes? Are we hitting with the front edge or the back edge, or both? So we have the strike directions. You can kind of just rotate your sword. This will give you the strike directions. But you have to pick some as your main cutting. So we can select, for example, okay, we are only going to be using this downward and then this downward, and these will nicely combine into cross cutting. And let's say that we are not going to be using thrusting here, thrusting here, thrusting here, here, upward, or even this scorpion downward. So we are not using any of those. We are just using, let's take only these two angles over here, and we try to use those with our style. Then it's like the way of the cutting. Are we using the power cuts from the shoulder to shoulder? Or are we going to be using the elbow cuts here? This is much smaller, but it's also maybe faster. Or are we going to be just using the wrist? So we lock this one also, and we're going to be doing very small cuts here. Or are we going to be using a combination that you go here first and then you do the small one? So big cut and then big and small, big and small. Like a big cut and small. So for example, this is not very well understood by many, that there are different sizes of the cuts depending on which joints are operating. But it's also like a style. Which ones are we going to be using? Are we going to be fighting like just like this? Totally depends on the rules. So if this works, we are going to be using this one. This is still the cross cutting, you know. But now I do it with just the wrist. This would be also cross cutting, but now it's from the elbow. Now this is from the shoulder. This is the big cuts. So how hard do you need to hit? But let's say we are selecting the big cuts. We need power here. Okay. So now for the sword we have the angles, the cuts. We have those down now. But then we have to also think that are we also only striking to the head, midsection, legs. This would be only to the head. Okay, let's take, so we take the head cuts, but then we also take the low cuts here. So we can cut low here if we want, but this is still the same angle of the attack. So it's still the downward diagonal, but this is to legs, or we can cut high. So we can cut high, low. high, low, high, low. Or like low, high, low, high. So we have two levels. We could complicate it more like what to actually hit. Is it like a neck or head or shoulder, elbow, fingers, knees? But I leave that for you. Then we come to stepping. So there are not too many ways to step. So we have the walking, kind of stepping forward and back. This is maybe something that every style should have. Otherwise it's going to be difficult for moving. Then we have this stepping that the front leg goes first and the back leg comes next, or if we go back it's the other way around. So this kind of stepping. Related to that is the back foot goes first here and then the front foot here, or the other way around. We can also use this to switch. So this is really basic stepping. Or we can use it like keep the right shoulder forward and go like this, like a saber style. And then we can go to the sides if we want. It's like walking. This is like the same thing now, but now we are walking sideways. So it's the same thing. Yes, I'm crossing my legs here. Those are the most common ways of stepping. So now we need to decide which kind of stepping are we going to be using here. So let's say that we want to keep it simple. We only take this normal walking. This will be quite enough for starters because we can always change direction already and move everywhere we want. If we want to go sideways, we can step sideways if we want. Right, so just a brief introduction, but if you know the whole repertoire, what is available over there, you can then pick and choose the strikes, thrusts and stepping you want and combine those into your style. And there you have it. And this is actually how many of the styles are done. And the only piece missing is that the tactics. So tactics means that how do you attack, how do you defend, how do you win. And I have a separate video about tactics. I won't be going through those once again here, but you need to then select the tactics. So you already have the techniques and now you need to understand what tactics should be used. And then incorporate those into your style. And there you have it. You can make your own style quite easily.